Alright YouTube, I just came back from the cinema and I watched the new Batman movie. So it's time I share with you my opinions. Let's call this a little review. Of course, you cannot do a review of a movie without giving away some of the plot and details from the movie, so I'm warning you, spoilers ahead. So I didn't write anything down, I'm just gonna riff off my mind from my memory and give you my very first impressions of the movie. First things first, let me tell you this, there is no post-credit scene. Everything the movie wants you to see happens during the movie. When the credits starts, it's just the credits. So don't do the same mistake as I did and sit through 15 minutes of credits for nothing. I'm warning you, I'm really honest, there is no post-credit scene. You're welcome. Even though there is one scene that I think would be perfect as a post-credit scene, but it happens during the final phases, let's call them phases, of the movie, and it's not even the final scene. But we'll talk about that one later. Alright, the Batman. What this movie brings, and it's new when it comes to the Batman movies, is this, the movie wants you to connect with the people of Gotham City. What I mean is that the first 20 minutes really show you how the city lives, how its people think, how they behave. Gotham City is in a state of decay, and it's shown through what I think is really done well, through its youth. I mean, it shows drugs use and violence, but I think that in any city, any country, the youth is actually what symbolizes the country and shows its state. The youth of Gotham City is violent, ruthless, and it shows in the first 20 minutes. It shows a group of kids who randomly attack people on the street. I mean, it really sets up this feeling of helplessness, of brutality, and it really actually made me boil inside as to, this, wow, oh my God, I know this is a Batman movie and I cannot wait for Batman to come in and kick some major ass and clean all this mess up. But guess what? Batman does appear, and he confronts the gang of sad kids and beats them up brutally. I mean, he's brutal. He doesn't show even one moment of remorse or doubt, even though they are kids. But the scene actually sets something else up. Even though Batman saves a stranger from the gang of kids, the stranger is afraid of him. He's dead terrified and pleads, "Please don't hurt me." And Batman stands there in silence, and it's actually, even though he doesn't say any lines, you can see he is troubled by that. The whole purpose of the scene isn't to show just the brutality of Gotham City. It's actually it's intended to show that even though Batman exists for 2 years in this movie, the people don't trust him. They don't think he's doing anything extraordinary. He is not a symbol of justice yet. Even as it's actually a scene from the trailer, as he says when he confronts the gang of kids, he's vengeance. He isn't justice, and this is actually a big setup for the ending of the movie and for the transformation that Bruce Wayne or Batman undergoes during the movie.
I'm vengeance.
When it comes to the action in the movie, I think the scenes are done really well. There is no shaky cam, there is no sudden transition from one camera to the other, one angle to the other. They're really easy to follow, and it's really easy to understand what's happening in every moment. Another important thing about the action scenes in this movie that I really liked is that each scene has something on the line. You know, it's not like Batman is just fighting his enemies and you feel like, okay, if he loses nothing happens, if he wins nothing happens. Each scene has a purpose. A scene that really shows well the action in the movie and really puts a lot on the line is, in my opinion, the scene where Batman chases after the Penguin, but I won't spoil that for you. I will let you be the judge of that after you watch.
I got you! I got you!
Another interesting thing in the movies are the colors. Even though there are some scenes that are filmed during the daytime, most of the movie takes place during night, as you would expect from a Batman movie. It's actually really interesting that three colors make up the main color palette of the movie. It's orange reddish, black and blue. I mean, as you're listening to this right now, you may think that maybe that's not enough color. It's going to be too dark to see what's happening, but actually it's done in a way where these colors are a visual component that amplifies the whole atmosphere of the movie. A really important component of the movie, which I really liked, is the musical score. The musical score is amazing to me. Its core is the song Something in the Way by Nirvana. Some people won't like that all the songs resemble it, but I think it gives that perfect touch of gloominess, of darkness, of grittiness that Matt Reeves is trying to portray here. Let's talk about Bruce Wayne and Batman, and actually the portrayal they got in the movie. Robert Pattinson does a really good job, in my opinion, of being the perfect Batman for this kind of movie. He doesn't talk too much, but his posture, his expressions, they express everything that is needed for you to fully understand the scene. And most of the movie is like that. Even though there is some quality dialogue, it's I think the whole magic comes from his non-verbality, actually. Another important thing is that this Batman is actually really grounded in reality. Maybe even more so than the version from Christopher Nolan's movies, I think. The gadgets are really limited, and this movie is heavily based on detective work. And once again, it's not that he's using some supercomputers or super gadgets to scan the room, analyze prints, I don't know what not. All he has is his brain, and he has Alfred. Yes, Alfred doesn't appear too much in the movie, but his role is actually to help Bruce with detective work, which is something that really surprised me. And even though I felt that we didn't get to see much, and the foundation of their relationship between Bruce and Alfred isn't really that maybe that well developed in this film, I really like the twist that he is actively helping Bruce in his Batman role. Something that I really liked in this movie is the fighting. In the previous movies, especially in the Christopher Nolan's ones, the fighting felt really choreographed, I would say, while in this one there are multiple enemies attacking Batman all at once, and he struggles to defend himself against all of them. He takes some hits. You actually get the feeling that someone might hurt him. This guy's coming from behind, he's gonna hit him. And this is where the Batsuit actually comes in. It's bulletproof. It's bulletproof, and it can actually take the hits. But one thing that I really find weird is that the mask is made of leather. This is the only thing that I don't like about the Batsuit. As I said, the suit itself actually saves him most of the time, and even though maybe he doesn't have much of the gadgets that we are used to, he does have some cool tricks and some standard tricks for Batman. Smoke bombs, various injectables, and actually the Bat logo on his chest is a big Batarang. He doesn't throw Batarangs, but he just has the one. Some of you will not like that, some of you will, because it's actually something new and innovative, at least in my opinion. Alright, as I said, I don't want to spoil too much. I know today is the day the movie opens in cinemas. I watched it extra early. So I explained Batman a little bit. I'm gonna explain the Riddler a little bit, because I think it's everything that we hoped for. In short, a psychotic maniac who thinks he's doing good for the city, but really isn't. And Paul Diano, that's his name, the actor's name, does such an amazing job. Every scene he is in, you can feel the mental instability of the character of Riddler, but also his genius. That's all that I want to say about the Riddler, because I think spoiling him would be wouldn't be fair. I think you're really going to enjoy his character, and you will see why. Now, all I did pretty much was praise the movie, right? So let's talk about the things that I think were kind of lacking. As I said before, Bruce Wayne in this movie has been Batman for 2 years already, and he established a pretty good relationship with Jim Gordon, but it is never shown how that happened. They don't even talk about it, and yet throughout the movie, Jim shows some incredible level of trust in Batman, which doesn't really make sense, because we, as the viewers, don't have a foundation for it. We don't know what happened, how it happened. So at least 5 minutes, a scene where it shows how Batman gained Jim Gordon's trust would have been good. The same can be said for Catwoman, kinda. I mean, she just appears, and 2 minutes after they are working together. That's all I'm going to say. She doesn't question his intentions. Not really. Does he mean good? Does he mean bad? In this case, they just have a common interest, and that's enough for her to trust him completely in such a short period of time. That didn't really make sense to me, and it felt as they built this relationship that they have through the rest of the movie too quickly and based on so little. End-to-end takes off. You remember I said something about a scene that would be perfect as a post-credit scene. Well, here it goes. Minor spoilers, but still spoilers, incoming in 3, 2, 1. In this scene, we see Riddler in prison, in his prison cell, crying as his plan fails, as Batman saves the day. But guess who's in the cell next door and starts comforting our serial killer psychopath? It's none other than the Joker. Yes, the Joker makes an appearance. We cannot see his face clearly, but the laugh is there, and some other things that I don't really want to spoil. I don't want to spoil what they talk about, what the Joker says. Go see the movie and see for yourself. You won't be disappointed. Alright guys, that concludes this mini The Batman review from me. I hope I didn't spoil too much for you. To put it simple, dark, mysterious, and yet entertaining from beginning to the end. At least for me. Now it's time for you to go see the movie and judge for yourself.